Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Dan, that's Stephen, and we're a married couple living and travelling in our little 1996 VW campervan. Trying to sustain this life and all the challenges it brings has allowed us to explore our country in ways we never thought possible, and now we venture abroad for the very first time. Join us this week as we indulge in another of France's pretty towns as we head further south to warmer climes. So sit back, relax, and come along, dear. Yeah, so after that really nice day, a nice park up yesterday, a really great introduction to France, and the lovely time we had this afternoon, exploring that region in Champagne. Is that even how you say champagne in French? I don't know.
Champagne.
Oh, anyway.
Champagne.
Whatever it is. That lovely place, Haute-Villers, or Haute-Villers, I'm not really sure if you do pronounce the T, which was a beautiful, beautiful village, and we had it all to ourselves. We made a move down the motorways and we tried to find a park up. And of course there are so many in France, it's brilliant. But the region we were in, we were running out of time, the sun was going down. Everywhere I looked, it either didn't seem quite right, or when we got there, it looked very different to what we were led to believe, or it was like in the middle of a residential area which we weren't really comfortable with. So before you knew it, it was completely dark and we just had to scramble around. So the nearest one we found at this point was a Laybys. I think if you do this life and you're only prepared to have the scenic spots, it's probably not going to work out for you in the long run. You know, you're going to run out of options pretty quick. So we're quite happy with places like this. You know, we're allowed to stay here as far as we know, so it's all fine and it's very quiet.
And I think what we have to remember is that if we was back in the UK, we would be excited just because there's bins.
Yeah, yes!
So,
oh my
we
God,
would be
yes.
excited by bins. So, yes, it isn't what it was yesterday, but whatever, bins are an excitement in the UK, so...
And there are bins everywhere. There's bins outside here. I mean, not only is there bins, there's about 4 bins, and it's a tiny lay-by. It's like, what? Like, it's so prepared. It's so catered for, which is brilliant. So yeah, we're fine with it. We don't mind it. We've slept in a lot worse places, and you know, there's going to be a lot nicer to come. There's going to be a lot worse to come. That is the way it goes. That is this life, and we're quite happy with that. But in the meantime, we got our champagne from the Champagne region. We're happy. Going to enjoy that, and probably watch something, and then get going further down, travelling further through France tomorrow.
Oui. Au revoir.
We'll see you in the morning. Another toll. Get our ticket. Here we go. On we go. Good morning. So completely forgot to do a video this morning. So after we arrived at our park up last night, which was about the 4th or 5th attempt at staying somewhere, we actually had a really good night's sleep. It was really peaceful. Woke up completely freezing and frozen on the inside, but that's fine, you know, we're used to that. We're old hands at that now. But yeah, we had a nice sleep, and after that we haven't really, it's kind of been a bit of a day where it's taken us a while to get going. So we decided to go shopping. We needed some fuel to start with. That was a pretty easy process, so nothing different to the UK really, apart from just understanding what you're doing. And then we went shopping. So we've been to a supermarket, Carrefour, I think it is, a couple of times, which was all right, but we did notice it was quite expensive. And we found a Lidl today. So we went into Lidl, and we were just a bit surprised, weren't we, Stephen?
Yeah, shocking.
It was, you know, in the UK, Lidl is obviously known as quite a cheap supermarket, so one of the cheapest. And I guess that's the case here. You would think so. But we went in, and it was weird. I guess I don't know if France is costlier at the moment than the UK. Costlier, is that a word, Stephen?
Costlier, it can be.
I guess it is now. But we've definitely noticed it's quite expensive food wise, and I know it is in the UK. It is for everybody, and I certainly didn't expect it to be cheaper here, but I guess I wasn't expecting it to be more expensive, so maybe we should have looked into that first.
It was €1.60 for a lettuce.
Yeah, €1.60 for a lettuce in Lidl, which works out at, well, what are they in the UK actually?
About 80p.
Less than £1 normally. Yeah. It's just that we've tried to limit ourselves a little bit because, you know, we do have to be careful of some of the pricing. Some of it is a lot more than the UK for certain things. Other things are less. So bread, for example, seems to be cheaper. But some of the fresh fruit and veg seems to be more expensive, which we like to buy a lot of. So I don't know, I guess we can eat bread for quite a long time. Bread and cheese. Bread, cheese and wine.
If you're on a budget.
And you know what? Why not? We're quite happy with that. I'm sure that'll end up well. So this is our first time filling up water in France. Pretty easy to do. There's lots of places at different airs, and we're not sure we're doing this completely right or this is the most convenient way, but
it is possible.
It is drinking water. It's just that the hose works, but we've got to hold the button in. I'm sure there's better options, but this will do for now.
And it's free. It
is free, which is amazing. And this takes about 5 minutes to fill our tank, doesn't it? Which seems ridiculous, I'm not sure how. Yeah, so this button is much harder to hold in than it seems. We're on the motorway basically, heading down, we're somewhere near Lyon I think, and I just sort of said, oh, we better fill up our water tank, and within seconds of looking for somewhere, this popped up just off the side and we've got it. I mean, you'd never get this in England, would you? You obviously pay a lot for the toll roads here, which is fine, you know, we don't mind doing that. What you pay for the toll roads, it might contribute to some of these services that are available. So. I imagine so. So, you know, it's a thing, it's a good thing. You might drive down and think, God, we've paid a lot in tolls, but actually we've got a lot of use out of it. So it's been really worthwhile. And just down the motorway, we arrived at our next destination, the historic town of Tournus.
Bonjour.
Where are we, Steve?
Tournus.
Tournus. We're in Tournus, which is in the, oh God, I've forgotten the region already.
Bourgogne-Franche-Comté.
Well done. Yeah,
Bourgogne-Franche-Comté.
Something like that.
Region.
Anyway, this is a lovely spot. It's a free spot to stay.
Yeah, so we're just going to go and find ourselves a bottle of red wine.
Of course.
And some cheese, because it's the cheapest thing to eat.
We're in Tournus and it's a really beautiful place. It's not far off the motorway, so it's really easy to get to. And we found a free spot to stay. But here, there is this beautiful abbey that dates back about 1,000 years. And you can see it, look. So we're going to explore that tomorrow, hopefully. But it kind of dominates the town skyline. Good morning. So today, as we said last night, we were in a place called Tournus in about the middle of France. But more importantly, it's absolutely freezing. It was -6 when I woke up, which I think was about the coldest point in France. So far we have not escaped the winter, the UK winter. Well, we have. We've just found something worse. But it's nice. It's quite fresh. It's a crisp cold, yeah, it's not a damp cold, which is really nice. But I'm going to go for a run, so I'm really excited because there's paths all along the river. I haven't had this for a couple of days, so this is really good. And we're going to go and explore. But yeah, it's not the most like, it's a scenic park up, but it's not like super scenic, you know, so it's not kind of like, we're next to recycle bins, we're in a car park. There's some metal barriers, but we've got the river one side and we've got the town behind us, so it's kind of a mix of both worlds, and it's free, you know what I mean? It's like you're just allowed to stay here, so by doing that it makes us then want to go and explore the town. And already you're just thinking, God, if places in the UK did this, it would be amazing, do you know what I mean? Because you'd go and explore these places more if you're allowed to stay. But yeah, so I'm going to go for a run, and it's looking like a good day. It's looking like it's brightening up despite the cold.
What did you see, Dan?
A river.
What was on the river?
Water.
Anything else?
No, there was herons. It was so gorgeous, like it's so scenic along there. The river just seems to stretch, well, like rivers do, I suppose. They stretch a long way. It's actually massive. It's really wide, but it was so calm. Like the water wasn't moving, but you can see heron. You can see they look like cormorants, but I'm not sure. And just lots of lovely scenery to look at, and no one about. A couple of people walking their dogs. Probably a few places you can wild camp down there, I guess. Although this was fine. Yeah, amazing, and I feel good for running, so
Right,
taking off the chill.
Time to go to town.
Time to go to town. But first up, a few warm down exercises. Is that finished? I don't know what it is. We're finished, we're done. As you can see, it's not the most amazing park up. We've got the recycling bins next to us, although that's incredibly useful, and you've got these kind of like metal bars. It's a car park. However, on the flip side, it's free. We're right by town. There's the river there with some lovely walks in either direction. You really can't ask for more, and it was so peaceful as well. You couldn't hear a pin drop in the night. I think we're spoilt for choice now, aren't we, Steve? Already, we're just here kind of thinking, like, we don't want to go back to the UK, do you know what I mean?
Womp, 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 womp.
Womp, womp, womp.
Let's get it on.
Van's rocking. Don't move in the van, it just moves. So that was nice. That feels like I feel perked up for the day after running. We're just trying to work out whether we should stay here for another night or not, and if we do, we're going to have to charge up the battery with our solar pack. So we're not really sure yet, because tomorrow's going to be a bit of an admin day.
Oui.
What's with all the oui?
Oui, oui.
Did you just in French?
It's the only word I know.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Au revoir,
Oui.
merci. There we go. Fluent. All right, Steve.
Oui.
He's just French now, apparently.
Oui, oui.
So, yeah, it's the morning, the sun's out, it's so calm, it's warmed up, and we're going to go and explore Tournus. Bought some little cakes. What have we got? Try and name them, Steve.
Paris Bruche.
Something like that.
And a
Tournus
something.
So, yeah, we're not really sure.
Tournus special, maybe.
They both looked really nice. Here we go, look at that.
So this is the Tournus
something,
which looks a bit like a cheesecake, really.
Maybe.
And this looks like pastry and maybe
like caramel cream or something. Coffee.
Mmm.
I mean, it would just be rude not to buy cakes while we're in France, right? Like, why would we not do that? And pastries and things. We already went and bought something in a bakery, and then 2 minutes later we've just gone and bought cakes. Of course.
So this is the taste test, because we're not sure what it is.
Get it in, Steve. Get it in.
Delicious.
Nice.
It's hazelnut cream, and then a pastry, like a light pastry. Delish.
Very nice.
I think it's cheesy nuttiness.
I think it probably is. Okay, let's go. Lots of ice and sugar.
Oh. Oh my god.
Nice. What is it?
It's all cream inside. It's like biscuity pastry with the nuts on the side.
Let's have a look. Oh, yum.
Oh, that's good.
Yum, yum. Right, now we're going to eat them.
Yeah.
Au revoir.
After quite rightly indulging in French cakes, we explored the town's crown jewel, St Philibert's Church, the main surviving building of Tournus Abbey. The site of the abbey can be dated back to the 2nd century, when the early Christian Saint Valerian came here to preach to the community. Although executed by the Romans, Valerian's tomb remained here and became a shrine of sorts for pilgrims. However, the abbey is most known for a group of monks who had fled their home off the west coast of France after Viking raids, bringing with them the remains of St Philibert in the 9th century. The abbey built up from this, and because it began with Valerian nearly 2,000 years ago, it is recognised as one of the oldest monastic centres in France. While it's mostly the church that remains, there is a lot to see here, and because Tournus is less touristy than most places, there is every possibility of enjoying it all to yourself.
So we're in St Philibert's Abbey in Tournus, and the abbey itself was founded in the 9th century, I think, when monks from western France basically fled their homeland after a Viking attack, after an attack from the Norse, which destroyed everything they had. So what they did, they fled, but they took the remains of St Philibert to here, and essentially the abbey kind of built up around that. So Philibert's remains were here. I don't believe they're here any longer, but they were here for a long, long time. And the abbey kind of built up around that, basically. So the building you see is actually, I think that's specifically the church. And that was built, I think, again from the 9th century, possibly 10th century onwards. And yeah, much of it is the remaining building. It's spectacular to look at, and yeah, it's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, it's beautiful inside.
Beautiful inside, yeah. You can go inside, you can actually go upstairs. So there's a lot of history.
You can go downstairs to the crypt.
You can go down to the crypt, or you can go right up to the top.
And there's a massive organ inside, and it's beautiful.
There is a massive organ being held up by a gargoyle, which is great.
Right, we're going to go, because we need to find a loo.
Yeah, bit of history for you there, but really nice to look around.
Au revoir.
Well, that was fun, wasn't it? A little tour around Tournus.
Yeah. Yeah, we saw the Abbey.
We saw the Abbey, bit educational, bit of history there, which was quite good. Very, very pretty town. I think it's actually a city from what I've read, but it's very hard to determine that. But yeah, lovely place, and we've spent a really nice night there. We're going to leave now. We're going to head further down. Tomorrow's a bit of an admin day, so we kind of don't really care where we stay as long as it's somewhere where we can do what we need to do. That's about it, really. So we're going to hit the motorway.
Oui. On a note, top tip. If you do come here and you look for a public toilet, take a toilet roll with you. There's none in any of them.
No. He's saying that based on checking 2.
3.
Where's the third one that was empty?
Oh, right, 2.
No, it's 2. So that happens in the UK as well anyway, as we know. But yeah, annoying. And that's it. So we're going to head further south and carry on. So bye-bye, Tournus.
Bye, Tournus.
Bye, Tournus.
And so we left Tournus and headed further south. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, press the free subscribe button if you want to see more of our journeys, and ding that notification bell for regular updates. Join us next week as we find the perfect free park up and reach the Mediterranean coast for some winter sunshine. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next one.